I became a good follower first. I had to follow. I learned how to understand the principles of business by following others, and then the next step was to create a business, right? Create a business, business that um, others were doing the same business, but I thought I'd go in and do something similar. And then the next step was what you're talking about: is the create something that nobody else has done before. And so there's steps here, right? You don't have to start out as an entrepreneur and go exactly to that. And I know you didn't. You also followed the path I just mentioned. And some people don't. I mean, there are exceptions to what I'm saying. You go right to, wow, I'm going to create something nobody's ever done before, right? And you're going to take, maybe a doorknob, and you're going to create an electronic doorknob that you look at and the door opens. I don't know, but there's something that you might be able to do. But generally speaking, that happens. And there it seems like I don't know your younger life. For me, I was kind of a rebel and always wanted to do something a little outside the box, which is really my entrepreneur spirit coming out. Did you have that same thing going?
Absolutely, absolutely. You touched on such good points, and actually, I'll touch on one point that you just said about being an inventor versus being an adopter, right? I always being an inventor is great, but if you have very, as this world has very few inventors, but there's a lot of adopters, right? But if you're an early adopter, meaning you adopt something, you create something slightly different version of something that exists, that's also a very creative thing to do, Ken. So I really admire the comment that you said. So there's a big mass of people, like 98%, 95, 98% of people are what? They're all followers, and they're all going to be like, oh, this internet is a hoax. Oh, this, what is FaceTime? We're not, like, this is a reality today, right?
Yeah.
So there is an invention, and then there is an early adoption. So early adoption is very necessary, and you can also create something out of there. So I always believe in becoming an early adopter, whether it's technology, whether it's anything, and again, number two principle I have is nothing ventured, nothing gained. Meaning, coming back to that rebel nature in you, or trying to, make sure that, if somebody says you can't do it, why, go at it and do it, right?
Yeah.
Are you hungry enough? Are you want to do, are you satisfied? You could also be satisfied. There's nothing wrong with it. And they say, I'm very happy with what I'm, or you could be like, no, I really have a long way to go and a lot of things to do and a lot of people to help and a lot of people to serve. And yet, as they say, my life has just started now.